This is Past the Rock.
And we are back with the second quarter.
Ooh.
The second quarter. So we're going to kick off with some basketball here. So I'm going to immediately pass this rock to my friend Becky.
Alrighty, guys. We don't have much in the NBA, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to start with the ladies here. All-Star break just finished up. Mostly uninteresting things because the All-Star format, very unfortunate, no matter what in basketball. So it's just a part of the game, the no defense, the hanging out, that these people want to be anywhere but a basketball court. And we're fortunate to be on a basketball court. Obviously, they're getting paid, but still. This time was notable.
Do we know enough about their CBA to know if they get
Well, we know more about
bonus?
their CBA now for sure. So, yeah, long story short, the ladies came out and shirts that said...
some, not all.
Yeah, that's
They made
fair.
a point to point out that not everybody was doing it with them.
Pay us what you owe us on the shirts. This is in response to some stalled talks in their early CBA negotiations. It does feel like a 2026 lockout for the league is a possibility at this point. Reason for that is a lot of things. I think the easiest way to illustrate it is in two different pieces of evidence, if you will. The first piece of evidence I would like for you to know is that they currently get 9% of the pot, right? That's drastically lower than most entertainment products, even the MMA, who is notorious for trying to get cheap-ass employees. The rookies make about $78K, which means Caitlin Clark made about as much as a bank manager for all the money she drove into the league, just in salary alone, obviously. We know she makes money outside of that.
And I think for this conversation, at least for this specific little juncture of it, you have to think about every other player besides her, because obviously...
Yeah, and I do. I just think it's ultimately, Paige is also making quite a bit of money for the Dallas franchise and for the league eventually.
Maybe. I mean, do we know that?
I think they are. And the reason why is, again, you're expanding to 5 more teams within all this time. There's all these people fighting over each other to buy into the league. Like, that's showing a lot. The critics will say, well, so there's stupid people, right? If you search this out, there's people who are calling this delusional and saying that and I'm like, guys, this is a business. They've made a certain amount of the wage. It's getting better, and they're asking for just more. No one is going in there and being like, pay me LeBron James's salary. That is not happening. But these people are spitting narratives as if they are, because they're disingenuous pieces of shit. So
100%, man.
I understand.
I've seen so many of these like arguments about, hey, well, maybe Caitlin deserves it because of all the attention that she alone has brought to the league. And then I'm just like, you're missing the fucking point. And then there's people arguing in the comments. It's like, well, if you're doing well at your job and you're generating income, you would want some more money, would you not? And then all these corporate bootlickers are just like, well, no, actually, they should just be grateful they have a league to play in, because where would they play otherwise? As if Europe doesn't exist.
Russia is the answer.
That's right.
Right, exactly. So the losing money argument is probably the most fair-ish one that you could give, but it's not a good one because it doesn't hold up to the weight of all the other times the NBA and the NFL and anybody else has done this bullshit.
And we just don't have we don't have the books.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about ESPN later,
so they can say that, and all
right?
we can do is say, I think you're lying, and then that's the end of it.
Exactly. So basically, this is a very common. I think it's notable because it's a common tactic in any of these negotiations for someone purchasing something more or less like they would be in this situation, like purchasing a workforce in bulk, I guess. They try to use this tactic to garner sympathy, and it's stupid.
I think it's cool that we get to see this because the W is in a weird spot where it's, there's the 4 major sports. Obviously, the NHL is considered the lowest end of that, but
yeah,
they're in the WNBA is kind of right now in their own little second tier by themselves that NASCAR touched into. Maybe WWE is up there.
Yeah, I would give them that credit for sure.
They probably actually, I don't know.
If
They
you
might
can
actually make
sell
more
out
money than the
football
W.
stadium-
I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you can sell out football stadiums doing what they do, I think that's a pretty good sign.
But it's also unique in that the WNBA is so young. It's still kind of a testing ground for what else, what could sports look like.
And there's more games, so it's harder to, WWE experience is a traveling carnival,
Right.
Or all
But
the
I mean,
shows.
so it's a unique spot where there's still it's basically an infant league compared to the major ones, so there's still time to run some different plays and see, hey, maybe this could work here. It is interesting
Is the,
how
WNBA, not to derail this, guys, is the WNBA a publicly, is any of the revenue public at all? Or is it private? Because I got because WWE
I don't know.
I think
is
the
a
problem
publicly
is-
traded company.
I don't think so.
I can tell you how much they made.
the difference is the WWE is the entity,
top
whereas the
entity, yeah.
WNBA is separate entities technically.
Yeah, because it's $1.398 billion is what they reported having made in 2024.
So for the same reason the Packers are kind of the only thing people can judge NFL teams' monies on, because they're the only one that's technically a public thing, I think. And they have to release some of the stuff,
right?
So that they make a lot of guesses on that. So the NBA and the WNBA don't have that because each team can be like, no, we're good. But no, I think I forgot where I was going with all that.
Well,
we're just talking about,
here's a little distraction for you to think about it. This is the other side of the table.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to ask you: is that the percentage of the revenue they get? That's a solid number. We know that's a fact. I don't even know.
9%. Yes, because they're. I mean, well, we know what they're telling us, so I don't know how much we know is
okay.
factual.
That's what I was going to say. Because if that is the true and accurate number, well, then there shouldn't be any other argument. That's just obviously a terrible. I mean,
yeah. So
anyone who supports labor should know that making 9% of
reading
that
between
99% of the
leaves,
people making 9% doesn't work.
Reading between the tea leaves of what Angel Reese said, and again, she's a part of the negotiations as a part of the players, right? She is claiming the league isn't being clear at all about their long-term money. Like the league is basically proposing them things that are more or less what seems like maybe fool's gold, where they're trying to show something shiny to the ladies right now, and then kind of sucker them in the back term of this deal, which isn't doing Angel Reese, Paige, Caitlin Clark, obviously, who a lot of this is going to be centered around to some extent. So it doesn't for Juju Watkins coming up, like it doesn't do any good for the future of a league that's growing for them to take a bad deal. She even called the counter proposal disrespectful. So I think that's important to note. I think it does feel like the WNBA is trying to use the optics that are kind of a part of the negative publicity that they have been happy to take in. And they're using a lot of the same arguments that the NBA uses when they're doing their negotiations, which isn't surprising because they're basically the same damn thing. So I do feel like I believe the players here in the fact that I think the WNBA is trying to make a lot of money right now and trying to pull a fast one on us and keep these ladies as low paid as they can. But I think it's a goofy thing to try to do, knowing that two of your star players, like your best player and then generationally who might be the best of the decade or close to it, they are both running a sub 3-on-3 league that sort of make this thing go, and they have the backing and they have former ESPN people helping them promote it and show it to the world. Like, it's probably not a good idea to play this much chicken with your players union. Obviously I don't expect the ladies to come out completely on top because you're always, no matter what league it is, facing an uphill battle, but clearly they're going to have to get there and get a better deal. And I don't know that the WNBA is going to be honest with them and play this fairly. I think they're going to try to be scumbags about this. And I do think it could easily lead to a very poor decision of a 2026 lockout.
And I think if I wanted to do devil's advocate, 'cause I should say once again, I am very pro-labor, is that teams can present it. And I think there's an argument to be made that this pop might not, you can't expect this increase ever again. If we want to call it the Caitlin Clark bump or whatever it is, she's the face of it at this point. It's doubtful that there'll be another explosion of that magnitude at the same time. So then you're looking at, okay, can we keep it at least this level, or do we feel like it's going to restrict?
Caitlin Clark might be the most important point on this whole timeline eventually. But just like Michael Jordan, I think this thing is going to continue to outlast her and be bigger and better.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I didn't want to make that comparison, but it is an apt one as far as the marketing of her and of what she's done for the league, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the only argument to be made of the players not, if again, this is just so we can have another side to our talk about it. For the players not over asking or overreaching based on, hey, it's ballooned this much, so should every number we have kind of thing. But like we mentioned earlier, if you go in presenting just percentage of the revenue based off what we provide, then that's a tough one to actually beat unless you're just a scumbag.
And they might be. My final piece of evidence here is Kathy Engelbert, who runs the league, Adam Silver of the W, if you will, Roger Goodell of the WNBA, for those that truly don't like basketball.
You guys are amazing. Yeah. What? No, what? Look at Kathy. Kathy Jordan.
Yeah.
My only critique is you could cut that after she stops doing the arm wave because she doesn't provide any more fun.
No, I just wanted people to know Kathy Engelbert has honestly been one of the more funny commissioners maybe of all time. She's done a lot of funny things, like
there's 0% chance the commissioner of any of the major leagues would ever be able to do that, where the players would want them there.
Well, Goodell has gotten away with some goofy shit. Yeah, people have started to have teddy bear Goodell because he was eating M&Ms one time during COVID in his basement.
Well, I just mean as far as hanging out where the players hang out.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting one. Like I said, I just think it's very funny to see her do this, and then all the other actions that she's taken in her time do not necessarily shout player friendly. So she certainly seems like one of those bosses that comes into work and has all the hype and all of the everything, but is really just as two-faced as they could possibly be, as fake as humanly possible. So whatever. Good luck on that for the girls. The W continues. Obviously, we'll care more about the playoff stuff as that goes. Dallas Wings aren't very good still.
We're not going to talk about being upset that you have to wait in line outside of a club.
No. Not going to do that at all. The W or the M in NBA, right?
What do you mean regular?
Yeah. They call I do see this on Twitter a lot. It's the MNBA.
The Men's National Basketball Association.
That's what the W fans like to call it.
I like it.
I don't hate it. It's funny. It's a little petty, but I think that also kind of shows where the demographics of the fan base is not just Caitlin Clark psychos. It is truly a deeper fan base, and I think truly does have life and legs moving forward with or without Caitlin Clark for the most part. Clippers are old as fuck. They got old as fuck again with Chris Paul coming in to be their backup point guard, more or less, spot starting point guard.
Point God, am I right?
Point God. Elite top end for this roster. We're not going to go through it all the way, but it is a fun one to think about. It'll be one of the teams people probably dark horse title.
You're going to hear about them until they're
starts.
officially eliminated, but the giant when healthy modifier.
They are definitely the number one if healthy team of the season, I would say, going into it. I thought there would be more controversy over who's going to wear number 3 because they just got Bradley Beal as well. But it looks like Beal's already said that it's no problem for Chris to take the number
he bent the knee.
I mean, in this situation, if you're Beal, like I understand how stubborn you are. Truly, I understand it, and I get it. But like, it's the Clippers. They have very little franchise history. It's basically Chris. It's also Blake, but and Blake hates them right now. Like, Blake is never going to be nice to the Clippers again for what they did to him. So maybe eventually he'll want to have the jersey in the rafters thing and do the ceremony. But like, Blake Griffin is not close.
KD, Minnesota.
It's worse, I would say. Chris got to leave on his own volition. So Chris is happy to be back, especially he's back home with the family, all that good stuff, right? So for Chris, this is a win-win situation. For the team, it's a great situation for them, obviously. So all wins around there. For the team across the street, not really a street at all. It's actually quite far from Inglewood to downtown LA. But the Lakers are now, again, better off than they should be. You can definitely, just like DeAndre Ayton, kind of poo-poo the pickup of Marcus Smart and piss on it and do the anti-Lakers thing. But again, for free, man. Like, they just got this dude for free.
You're not asking him to be number 1, number 2, number 3, like.
Yeah. Like, it's just crazy to get. And again, I don't know if I would have had him Defensive Player of the Year when he won it, but former Defensive Player of the Year just falls off the back of the truck. It's crazy. A former number 1 overall pick falls off the back of the truck. Like, that shit is crazy, right? Like, even though I understand there is an injury issue with Marcus Smart as much as anything, there is a focus issue with DeAndre Ayton as much as anything. I get that. But still, man, what kind of falling upward shit is
only in LA?
The franchise, only that franchise, right?
Yeah.
The Clippers, it's like
I mean, they are called the LA Clippers, but they're not.
The Clippers have literally for 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, put together just incredible rosters and gotten one Western Conference Finals appearance out of it.
I mean, they put together on paper incredible rosters, but they're always have massive injury questions.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. That's the
players' bodies are made of paper.
They can't do it. The Lakers have done everything they can to be worse than the Jerry Jones Cowboys that we currently have.
The Cowboys just can't. There's no one player like LeBron who's gonna.
It's a different version of the sport, right? So they luck into LeBron. That lands them Anthony Davis, and then through this hilarious situation, they get Luka Doncic, and now their biggest problem is what do we do with LeBron? Right? Like, what a fucking life. They're getting DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart just thrown at them off the back of trucks. It's just funny. This is why Lakers exceptionalism is hilarious, even though I understand why people get mad at it. It's so funny. Like, you can't not think this is funny. And notable restricted free agents, Jonathan Kuminga and Josh Giddey, are probably the last pieces that are interesting. Because, I mean, trades could still happen. But I think Kuminga and Giddey, and whether they get their money and how they get their money and who gives them their money is an interesting question.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the hoops. That's the hoopy hoops.
All right. Well, we were gonna wrap up the second quarter here with some baseball talk.
Some positive news for once.
Look, yeah, the Rangers sat and hung around for a while there, and now it looks like they might be storming back a little bit. They're showing signs of life. The offense is now averaging more than 1.5 runs a game or whatever terrible number it was from May through June. Yes, 2 games above 500 for the first time since, I believe I did this math yesterday. It was like May 15th or 16th, possibly the 17th, but right around mid-May was the last time we were 2 over 500. I think we're a game and a half back of a wild card spot currently.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, a game and a half back of a wild card spot. We're only 2 games behind Seattle, who we have games against coming up. And still 7 back of Houston, but they haven't been playing as well. and we have some
Yeah.
games coming up against them too. So
Yeah, I really don't think that it's realistic to look at the Houston thing.
it's
but
not
I
too
do
far
think
out of
the other
reach
three-
yet, but the games against Seattle and Houston coming up will absolutely, let us know if either one of those are viable to catch.
I think
or
it's
not.
just too lofty of a goal for as bad as this team as this was for a little while.
We'll see.
offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can see it because I mean, what Houston is riding a 4-game win streak, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. Rangers 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah,
But,
and like I
you
said, I'm happy with these results for the most part. I just think Houston's done a good job of building a more consistent roster this year.
I mean, they
for
woke
sure.
up a little bit faster than we did from their lulls at the beginning of the year, and we mentioned it when it happened that that's not what you want to see, but they did it, and they probably do have the division more or less locked up, but it's not a given since we're still just mid-July here, or mid to late July.
a lot of baseball to be played, but I think for the Rangers, it's still baby steps.
For sure. So a couple of things that have happened. Jake Berger got hurt. We brought in Rowdy Telez.
Lost
big
a fat boy, gained a fat boy.
Big Rowdy, who I believe is like American, Mexican, Jewish guy. I believe this is what's going on there.
Shout out.
I think he's 6'4", 270 or something like that. He's a big dude. He hit a 3-run home run in his first or second game with us. Hopefully that's at least just hopefully he can fill in until Berger gets back, and who knows what happens then. You'd like to see some more consistency throughout. So, his 1 home run's nice. Let's see what he does, in his time here. Maybe he could be the first baseman for the rest of the year. That'd be fun. He's a fun guy to watch.
Yes.
A number of other guys have been cycling through.
How bad is the burger thing?
I don't really know. I haven't looked into it. We've cycled through some other young guys, a bunch of names I've never heard of. David Hellman, I think.
No, Michael Hellman. David Hellman. used
Yeah,
to cover
the
Cowboys.
Sorry.
Cowboys reporter?
There was a Hellman. There was Cody Freeman, who I saw the other day. He didn't last too long.
Duran's in this game tonight.
Yeah, Zeke's been playing for a bit now. And, since the rest of the team's done fine, I haven't noticed him as much. It is a tough back part of the lineup, though, whenever it's him and a bunch of guys I've never heard of. Oh, Freeman's in again today at DH. Josh Young is back. He's been playing all right. He hit a home run the other day, right? Against Oakland, or whatever they're called now. The Athletics. John
The traveling
Gray.
athletics.
Yeah, they announced today that John Gray is back, and Luke Jackson is gone, and I believe the Braves already picked him up, if I'm not mistaken.
The party animal himself.
So that gets us kind of into what's next the rest of this month, and then the trade deadline happens at the end of this month. There's a few options if you want to go through them. I don't know a ton about these guys. I can give you their names, and I can pretend like we
Exactly.
we think that they're something or other.
That's exactly what I want
Pull
to
up
do.
my list over here. Uh-oh. Just killing time, vamping.
Just let me know what the position is.
I mean, they're all relief pitchers, pretty much.
Oh,
That's what
the
we need.
worst.
We need a
I
closer.
know, but it's so rough.
If the
No,
idea
Roberto-
if the idea is that the bats are at least moderately competent now, then you have to address the bullpen.
This is Robert Garcia's world, and you're just living in it. Okay.
So
How
Luis
about-
Bautista, that's the wrong guy. I pulled the wrong guy there. So now we're never gonna know what my first name was supposed to be.
There we go. Michael Hellman on deck right now in real life.
David Bednar's throwing with the Pirates right now. He's 30. He's all right. All these guys are good to all right. Other options are I don't even know how to say his name properly. Raisel, Raisel Iglesias.
Julio Inglés?
No, but this is a Braves pitcher. Another guy in his 30s. I believe he's Cuban. There's talk around the league that the Twins might be trying to move Johan Duran,
Oh.
Jhoan Duran.
Duran.
And he's pretty good. He's only 27.
So he'd be actually hungry like the wolf.
Yeah, the Twins not having the year they thought they'd have Sorry, this is shaking my camera so much. Another fun one to talk about. There's a couple of former Rangers that could potentially be options, but might cost us a little bit too much.
Okay.
And that, of course, Pete Fairbanks, I believe, we drafted him in 2015. He played a couple times with us. I'm pretty sure nothing too crazy. He's with Tampa now. He's an option, righty, out of the bullpen. And then, of course, Emmanuel Clase, who was part of the Corey Kluber trade.
Classe, all we drink is Bombay?
Now, from the reports, we're not one of the teams they're mentioning as like top of the possibilities on that, but you never know by the trade deadline who's offering what. And I think that's the biggest question is what are we going to give up? Are we talking about giving up some pretty high prospects? Are we talking about giving up
just one of them?
The World Series hero and ALCS hero and maybe the most popular player, in the last 10, 15, 20 years?
Are you going to pay him?
Adolis Garcia.
not?
It's a tough one. So yeah, that's the question: is are they going to pay him, or are they going to let someone rent him out?
I would hope they would, but
They
I know
would
they're not gonna.
probably. I think if they win through the rest of July, then that looks a lot different than if they lose through the rest of July. That's this month is pretty important.
That's why I think this is a business decision by the ownership to say, okay, if you're going to make a move, but ultimately we're deciding whether to pay Adolis Garcia or not. That's the main focus of the ownership for the rest of the season, in my opinion.
And they need to see what he does the rest of this year to decide if they should pay him. Because if all of a sudden he has a great second half, you're more likely to go ahead and pay him. But if he doesn't, then you can say, look, he's fallen off the last two years now. Not worth it. And you don't want to lose him for nothing. So then that's where the trade deadline comes in. It's a scary prospect. A lot of fans will be very upset because there's no name you're going to get back unless it's Ohtani or Judge that people are going to be happy to lose Garcia for. The other question is, if you really start losing a bunch of games and decide it's time to blow it up, do you trade Corey Seager away, who's having an MVP season? Probably not, but that might be the highest value that you could possibly get out of anybody.
No.
How cheap is the ownership group? I guess is what we're going to find out.
No, because I mean, Corey is definitely the best player on the team right now, but I don't even know if I go MVP season yet.
I'd look at some of that. I think he'll be in the conversation.
I think
he'll be an also got votes guy.
I'm saying that as he, does what he's been doing quite a lot since
the problem is the presentation. You're watching him do amazing stuff, but he's such a boring character and robot that you don't even notice how great it is.
As long as he keeps turning double plays and jacking home runs, it's all
from one knee last night, I believe.
Yeah, well, he just popped one out right there. So 15 on the season. Is he number one on the Rangers home runs at 15 now?
It's been a while.
Is that how far the power?
Been a while since I've looked at team stats. I can pull it up really quick though. Hitting leaders, home runs. Wyatt's got 15, so Seager just tied him.
Got you. Well, that's good for Wyatt. Wyatt's year has been very weird, but I'm glad that
Adolis has 14. Simeon's got 13, hilariously
which
enough.
is so amazing because that really has been just.
And Burger's got 11, and then it starts to fall off after that.
I mean, even those being your top is probably not super ideal, but at least that's more than I thought it would have been.
Yeah, a surprising lack of Jock Peterson on that list.
No, man. Somebody was talking about somebody being the worst free agent signing that CY's ever done, and then someone else was just like, bro, like Jock Peterson is absolutely at this point the worst signing.
It's tough. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good moves. And
there's no way that gets better.
Every once in a while, you get some of those.
There's no way that gets better.
I mean, John Daniels had a few.
No, I know, and I'm not. I mean, it is going to be bad, but like, there's just no like. I'm sorry, there's just no hope for Jock Peterson to turn it around. I feel like
not here, probably not.
I feel like we're probably not exercising that player option next year.
I wouldn't think so. But yeah, so we've got a few more weeks here. Again, we're finishing a series with the Athletics. Then we got the Braves, who are okay. They're not great. And after that is the Angels, right?
Just keep
Yeah.
winning series, man. That's the main thing. That's the most important part of this trend is that they're not just winning games, they're winning series regularly.
Yeah, and you do need a couple sweeps in here every once in a while. You have to get a few. So tonight's a good chance to grab one. Atlanta is not. If you could get 2 out of 3 from Atlanta, then really try to freaking sweep the Angels. Just push them out of the race entirely, knock them down, and then that takes you to trade deadline and a Seattle series, and that's kind of the make or break point, I would think, for what the rest of the season looks like, and maybe even the future of the future of this core, because this was supposed to be the time when this core was popping.
So far, so good for the turnaround in season. We'll see. It's boring, but I think the Rangers have no choice but to be boring at this point because they were so bad offensively that they should have been probably so good that none of this matters. Now they just have to operate from an arrogant standpoint like they are that good because ultimately selling on this team would be foolish.
Well,
it
and
seems.
also, I bring this up a lot, it really matters that if we get into the playoffs, all of a sudden other teams might have to face DeGrom and Eovaldi twice in a 7-game series. Like, good fucking luck. Because
no, I mean, obviously it helps.
And
the
I
offense
think,
having any consistency at all is such a huge deal.
Especially if things go well and the season ends well, all the way up to and including a World Series title. One thing we should mention now is the great work of guys like Patrick Corbin, who probably won't be in the playoff rotation, who's done more than just eat up innings. He's kind of helped keep this thing afloat.
You reminded me of a question. So John Gray's back. Are we talking Patrick Corbin or Jacob Latz? Who's sitting down?
Latz, I would think.
I know that's the logic, but who are you sitting down?
Right now, Latz. Corbin's here to eat up innings still.
It's crazy how consistently I watch Patrick Corbin pitch, and he nails it. The whole time I'm just like, oh, that's a home run. Oh, that's a home run. Oh, that's a home run.
Look, he's not great, and he wasn't supposed to be great when we brought him in. He was here to cover for when guys are hurt.
No, someone online found out that he's an elite pitcher when Trump's in office. So good call,
interesting.
CY.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that report yet.
Yeah.
Let's release those files. But that'll probably wrap up baseball in the first half.
God damn.
Unless you guys have anything else to say about baseball. Oh, the Milwaukee Brewers have the best record in baseball right now, which doesn't happen very often. So congrats to them for at least a mid-season victory.
Yeah. Should they be allowed to have beer as their primary logo? That's kind of a drug, and I think that's pushing problematic imagery onto children.
Is past the
Only got the half of it. Take 2.
This is past the